Hi guys, my name is Cynthia and I'm the CEO for Emua Fashions. This is my first video, so do bear with me because I might be shaky every now and then. Today I want to show you how to make beach bags, nice casual bags that you can take with you when you have your tank top and jeans on, or when you're going out to girlfriends with a nice short dress. Well, the bags, they look something like this. I actually have them in different colors. I have them in this, I have them in this, and with this one you can see I have done a patchwork over here, like different colors and everything, but today I'm not going to be doing this patchwork. It's a lot longer to do that, so I'm just going to make it easy for you and everybody else to make it. Right, so the first step I'm gonna do, just gonna pick any random fabric. These are like little scraps of fabrics that remain from clothes I've made in the past, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold it into 4 pieces. So I fold it, make sure they face each other in the first piece, and I'm gonna fold it again to face each other. Okay, so once you've folded your fabric into 4, right, just like I showed you earlier on, what you're gonna do is that you want to measure it. I use 11 by 16 for my bags, so it depends on you how big you want it to be, but you don't want it to be too big or too small. So you're gonna measure 16 on the fabric, and then you're gonna measure 11 on the other side of the fabric. When you do that measurement, you mark it, and then once you do the other one, you mark it, and then you do the same on the other side. You take your scissors, you cut through both sides, and then you would notice that this part and that part, just because you folded it, is going to have it's going to be joined together. All you just do is just open it up just right at that edge where it was folded and cut all the way through, so you have 4 different parts. Okay, so here I've taken another scrap piece of fabric, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually fold this one into 2. I'm going to measure 16 over here and 7 over here. I'm going to do the same thing right at this marker, make sure it's 7 too, and then I'm going to measure 16 over here, and then I cut through. So I end up with 2 pieces of fabric. Okay, so I'm gonna get a finer piece of fabric. I'm gonna fold this one into 4, just like we did at the first time that we did the first one. Just make sure this is at least up to 7 inches. So this 7 inches is just perfect, right? And then you want to measure the length as 32. Just like I mentioned in the first one, remember the fold, right? So right at this edge where it's folded, that's where you want to cut through, and that's your final piece of fabric. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to arrange all the pieces of cut so I can know exactly where each part goes to. So remember the ones that was cut into 2, I'm going to put that here in the middle. And then remember the first piece that we cut into 4, I'm going to take the first 2, make sure it's the first 2 because they face each other, so you can have the front and the back. I'm going to take the first 2, I'm going to put it in front of this one, and the second 2 I'm going to put it on the other side of this one. This is just, I'm doing this just to make it easy for you to know how to actually stitch them together. And then the last piece that we cut, I'm going to take the first 2, put on this side and put on this side. I'm going to pick only the top part. So I pick the top part of this, I pick the top part of this, right? I want to stitch this 2. I'm stitching this 2 together, right? The first 2 together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it like this, and then I'm going to pin it. I'm going to pin it all the way down. Same with this side. I'm going to take only the top one, and the same top one that I pinned before, and I'm going to pin it down out of it. I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the second part. So what I'm gonna do now is that I have two of this now. Two of this. That's the back of the fabric where I'm gonna stitch. This is the front where it's gonna show. Okay, I have two of these. What I'm just gonna do now is just sew down here and sew down. Now we have two. We have this like that, just the way we planned it, and then we have this like this. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna take one of this, right? Take one of these that's supposed to be on the side, and what you're gonna do is you see how this matches up with this, and how this part matches up with this part, right? What you're gonna do is you're gonna pin it down. I would say you should pin it down. Just pin it down like that. So you're gonna get this kind of effect when you do that, right? So what you're doing is that you've picked up one from this side. Remember there were two sides. Picked up one from this side, and you just pin it down and make sure it matches. Now you're gonna do all four. So you do the first one here, the second one here, and then you're gonna do for this part and that part, and then you sew through. Okay, so once you're done stitching them together, you should come up with something like this. There should be two of them. What you want to do is turn one of them inside out, just one of them, not both of them. Just turn it inside out like that, and shove the second one inside the first one. So that will be the lining for the first part of the bag. You fold it in, you put the other one in, and it should come out like this. So what you're gonna do with this part is that you're gonna fold this into four. Just be careful to make sure you get the edges right. I would say you should pin it together just so you don't mix it up. And then pin the other parts together. If you cut the box right, it should be the same. So you can see that's the same, there's no extra bulge in it. And then pin the handle together too. I'm doing all this just because I don't want a box bag. I actually want the curve in it. You're gonna see the difference once I cut it. Fold this up like this, and then what you're gonna do is you can dry it, you can cut it off hand, just do a little bit of curve here, and then cut the hand part. You want it to go slimmer as you go up, and then just take out the pins after you're done doing that. And then by now you should already see the shape of the bag and see what it's gonna look like and everything like that. At this point, if you really want to spice up your bag, this is the best time to do it. If you want to put beads, you want to put extra fabric on it, whatever it is you want to put, you might want to do it right now before you join the lining to it, just so people don't see where you actually stitched whatever you stitched on it. Okay, so you had two parts like this. After sewing the edges, you had two parts like this, and what you've done already is that you've put those two parts together, opposite facing each other, and then you've sewn the edges so it's become one part like this. So what I'm gonna do now is that first of all, I'm gonna cut this little, to call it darts or whatever it is called, just so when you fold it inside out it doesn't bulge. This is what prevents it from bulging up. And then this might be a little bit difficult to get because you have to get this whole thing through a hole, but what you want to do is you want to go from one of these holes and try to bring out the bag from it. So you're turning the bag inside out. So just go in, pick some fabric and pull out like that, right? So find the hole, go in, pick some fabric and pull out like that. Once it gets to the bag, the best way to get it through is to try and make the bag look like a cone like that, just so it doesn't give you so much problem as well. It might give it a little bit of problem just because the bag is bigger than the hole. So just push that in. Pull from here, so you can see it gets easier as you get sure. Okay, so once you bring this out, you're definitely gonna notice that the other hand of the bag is actually in. So same way you did that, you're gonna put your hand in, pick fabric and pull it out. Just pick the fabric from inside out like that till you get the second part out completely like that. And then know the front of your bag and the lining of the bag. That's my lining. I'm just gonna put that in. So you can see we've totally turned the bag in and it's fully lined. The final part of it, just before you iron out the edges just to make it look nice and beautiful, the final part of it is joining these two together like this. For this, what I usually do is I take one part of it and I fold it in like that, and then I take the second part of it, second part like this, make sure it's straight, and I just push that in like that. So it's something like this, and then you can just pin it up. It's up to you. Just pin it up and just stitch over that like that. Stitch over it so it becomes a bag like this. So all you need to do now from now is just iron out the edges, and there you go. That's your beach bag. Thank you.